Welcome to day 21 of Harvesting Hope. Today's topic is creativity, and today's quote is creativity takes courage, and the theme is the courage to create. And the scripture today is coming from Psalms 139:14, and it reads, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. And this scripture, along with the one in Genesis, where, it starts off God created and God created. We are a part of God's nature, and God was a creator. And if we take on his characteristics, that means that we have creativity inside of us. Now, granted, some people are definitely more gifted than others, but we all have a creative streak. I don't necessarily think that I am creative. I can figure some things out, and I think that's where my creativity comes from. I guess my motivation of creativity would be figuring out ways I can do things to save money. In other words, I don't want to pay someone for something that I could do myself, i.e. me changing out some of my outlets by myself, learning to do that myself. But I think other people look at me as creative in a sense. The other day I got a phone call. A female friend of mine, she's older, her power had gone out in her garage, and she was a bit frazzled, but nonetheless, the first thing I said to her was, get an extension cord and pull the power inside of the house. That way you can run your refrigerator in your garage. So that worked. And then I began to try to walk her through looking at the electrical panel, trying to figure out where the master was, and told her to make sure that all of the switches were all on the same side, and she confirmed they were. She sent me a picture, and I told her which switches to turn off, wait 30 minutes, turn back on. That did bring the power on. So those are the things that I'm kind of creative about, figuring things out somewhat around the house. Now, do I know everything? Absolutely not. Another instance, I had a friend, and I happened to be over there, and she stuck her key in the lock to go in the house, and the key got stuck, and she was so frazzled about trying to get the key out, and I understand it. But when she told me that the lock had been on the house since the house was built 22 years ago, I said, don't even worry about the key. Let's take the lock completely off. You're going to buy another lock, and we'll get the lock installed, and you get that key out whenever it's time for this lock to be changed. Number one, if the key got stuck. But number two, it is 22 years old. So we all have a creative streak in us. What is yours? God created us. He created us in his image, and God is a creator. And because we take on those characteristics, we have creativity inside of us. We just need to find out what they are. And some, run in families. Some families can sing or play instruments, or create things, and so just figure out what your creativity is, and move forward with it. Some people make money off of theirs. Some just solve other people's problems. I feel like I solve mine and other people's problems. But today's message is creativity, and that creativity takes courage, because sometimes your thoughts, of course, are not other people's thoughts. Some people think you're crazy for your thoughts in terms of creating things, and want to encourage you. But seek wisdom, seek the knowledge of the Lord, and move forward with creating things. That is today's topic, day 21 of Harvesting Hope. Thank you for joining me. If you found this video helpful, please share, please like, please subscribe, and thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Good day.